la voz de LA. It's like una galaxiana, come and kick it with us. I bring the bossa nova beats and talk the club that we love. Another year to adjust, and well, Coons we all trust. 6 titles in the cabin, tell a hater shut up. Mirar al horizonte con el cielo morado. Llegamos al estadio como siempre lo hago. Es la nueva temporada, ya cumplí 30 años. Rezándole a San Pequi que no dé al travesaño. Que repartan los balones y no sean tacaños. Que regrese el contraataque y que le hagamos daño. Un saludo para Robert, hermanos ecuatorianos. Que la táctica de Ananda nunca sean en vano. Si se trata de mi gala me levanto temprano. Ver el fur en verano, en el pasto tumbado. Siempre estoy a tu lado, en cualquier resultado. Vamos Galaxy, on top is where I gotta be. Chilling in the canopy, staging like a winery. Goals during rivalries, brew from the refinery. Only want the finer things, we letting you know. Lo que pasa en la galaxia, ready, let's start the show.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans, wherever you may be out there in the world. And let's face it, geez, all we have is love here at the moment, because today the Galaxy have found a new way to lose, this time at the death in their latest match, a 2-1 defeat on the final play of the game to San Diego FC on Saturday, May 24th, in what is just the latest letdown for the current MLS champs, who rewarded their almost 600 fans for making the trip south by ensuring another session of Sad Foo Hours tonight on this podcast. And tonight we'll be joined by Tam Bongiornovino and Peyton Bodwin from Talking Galaxy, who will be here to help us review this recent loss and the fallout from the San Diego defeat. We'll look at another bright start for the Galaxy in this match and why it means little in the long run, a stuttering offense, although it shouldn't be, and more self-inflicted mistakes that have cost the Galaxy more points this season. Plus, there was a battle off the field in San Diego as well. All of that and more coming up on tonight's episode. But before we go any further, I'm Rob Halone. I'm one of your co-hosts tonight. You can find my written work on Extra Time Talk and the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online here at El Escudero de LA. And of course, since I'm here, you know my co-host is here, Ananda Kirana, El Papá de Natita, El Yerno Guapo, El Gitano Perdido, and Sad Fool number 1, because you've been presiding over all these sessions of Sad Fool Hours. And I'm not even going to ask you how you are, because I know how you are. Everyone's just down in the dumps. But how was the Memorial Day weekend? How about that?
Yeah, Memorial weekend was good, man. Unfortunately, Galaxy gave me my only just low spot for the weekend, right? Beautiful weather. We were treated to some proper Southern California weather this weekend. I know you were down in San Diego, so hopefully the weather was, I know the sun was blazing, because even up here,
wasn't that
man,
bad?
like no, okay. Pero
I was in the press box, I was underneath.
Papá. Yeah, you had some shade. Well, who was it
that
said,
you know that sol está siempre bien feo, bro.
Siempre salga bien feo, pero te quema un huevo. But yeah, man. So I mean, so that was nice. At least you got to enjoy a little bit of that San Diego weather. I know you spent your weekend there, but like I said, it was a good weekend sporting wise. You know, you've had a couple of the closures for the other leagues around the world. Premier League was the last game of the season. Very interesting to see what happened and unfolded with those top 5 positions, 6 positions now, I guess, right? Napoli with their, man, the celebrations, that was like that was something else.
Go on, lad.
Hey, I'm all I'm gonna say is you guys let go of Tesoro right there, man. That guy's a player. That guy's an absolute player.
I always like myself some Scotty McTominay, man.
Yeah, so congratulations to Napoli. So yeah, just interesting, just everything wrapping up. Of course, the big Champions League final is next weekend, along with Europa Conference League final. If anyone is a Chelsea fan or cares, not me, but that's just me.
Nah.
But they already secured Champions League, which is crazy. Anyways, so that was crazy. But of course, the one there's the Galaxy always have to be there to ruin my weekend. Just got to do it. That's just how it works, right? And I'm just gonna get into my one-word match reaction, Papa, because I know we got a lot to go through, and we've got some special guests that we want to,
Dale.
bring on in just a few after we get through our intro segments. But again, perfect weekend, perfect weather, had a good time. But then came the sad part of my weekend, and that is the LA Galaxy. So that is my one-word match reaction, and it's sad, man. And you know what? It's speaking to the sad state of affairs right now for the 2025 version of this team. It's speaking to the sad few hours that we are putting on basically every week at this point. But here's the thing, Papa. It's actually not so much directed towards the team and the game and sort of what happened. But I think the saddest part for me over the weekend, and we'll get to it for damn sure, is the fact that the headline coming out of this game was not the LA Galaxy's demise on the pitch. It was not, from San Diego's perspective, I would say a heroic comeback and fighting for the 90 minutes plus. But the saddest part of this weekend was the headline that was made, which was off the pitch. And that to me was unfortunately my big takeaway from the weekend. And so to me, that's sad. It's just sad. So we'll get into it, and I'm just going to leave it at that for now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was telling it on to guys. I didn't see the violence because by the time everything popped off, myself and my colleagues were down in the bowels of Snapdragon already, and we were on our way to the press conference, man. But I saw the videos, and it was local. Anyway, we'll get into it. My one-word match reaction is not surprising. It should have been a Galaxy victory. They had chances. Of course, they gave San Diego chances as well. But I mean, they consistently play well enough to get results in these kinds of matches. They just don't. So, yeah, not surprising. That is my one-word match reaction. Chat, if you're out there, let us know what your one-word match reaction is. It's not getting better. And, I at this point, I went from optimistic to kind of bummed out to nihilistic to Ananda called me Scrooge last week. I think I'm at this point now where I'm like,
I get it now. I get it. You're allowed.
Yeah, I'm a couple steps ahead of you right now. I think I'm just kind of like in this like, it's not even nihilistic. It's like indifferent at this point. It's like, they lost at the death. No, you don't say. Like, yes, I'm expecting these kind of things now. So nothing is surprising me.
I remember us talking about this too, and this is 2023, where I was starting to feel borderline apathetic, and I'm getting to that point where I just have to laugh off everything because it's getting deep, right, Baba? It's like it's getting deep, bro. Like, wow, incredible. Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, fortunately, we have some fun guests today, that are going to kind of give us a perspective on the Galaxy season and, just everything that's going on. But before we get them on here, we just want to say thank you once again to all you guys out there that have shown us so much love. We are just a shade under 570, I believe, right now. So, guys, go ahead and keep on subscribing. Go ahead and tell your Theo, your Thea, all your loved ones about this humble little podcast. If you want to know when we have amazing guests like Tab and Peyton on, you got to subscribe. You got to hit that notification bell. Hit that like. Ananda has some fact or figure about how, like, all y'all come and, like, watch the pod, but y'all don't subscribe, like 1/3 of you guys. And I just think, that's sweet that you guys are here. But, take that extra step. Hit that subscribe, y'all. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, chat. We love you guys always popping off. If you have something to get off your chest or ask my co-host and I or our special guests today, go ahead and hit that super chat up, y'all. We do have the super chat available if you gotta say something. And of course, if you want a deeper analysis of what's going on with the Galaxy right now, we do have a couple of breakaway pods with, just kind of a special pods here and there. One is my interview with Michele Giannone. And of course, we have episode 5 of Los Galacticos with Ananda and El Profe Alex Ruiz, all about the Galaxy's midfield, who, is still, I guess, a work in progress. But let's get into some announcements, Ananda. But before we do that, go ahead and do your thing so we can get right into it.
Yeah, I think you did it mostly for me, man. But remember, guys, if we have a VP of likes out there, go ahead and hit up those likes. That also helps out as well. And we respond to every comment that you guys put on YouTube. So if there's something that you want to chat about, if you still want Vanny out, whatever it is, go ahead and put in the comments. We will reply to every one of those. And of course, guys, como siempre. Antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches, y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de Sad 4 Hours, a.k.a. Group Therapy Session, a.k.a. La Cuna Galaxiana, Season 3, Episode... ¿Dónde estamos ahora, papá? Almost 200, casi 200.
It's technically 196. There was some confusion about where we were. But yes, we are planning something special for show 200. So stay tuned for that. Garces, you guys got a sub to know what's going down for show 200. You guys are going to like it, we promise. But anyway, let's get into the announcements. Yep. Rest in peace to Gadi Kinda. It's all sad when, the MLS community loses one of its own. The former SKC midfielder died 6 days ago on May 20th. The midfielder was 31 years old. Our well wishes go out to his family, his friends, and the SKC community. Gone too soon for sure. Rest in power, Gadi. Happy Memorial Day to all G's out there, and especially to all the G's that served. Thank you for your service. Happy birthday to Edson Buttle, one of my personal favorite Galaxy players. Played for the Galaxy 130 times. And man, just his goal against Seattle will live long in my memory. Played himself into a World Cup spot one year. Edson Buttle, a G, once a G, always a G, and one of the biggest G's for me anyway. Happy birthday as well to Kevin El Gato Hartman. This guy has a lot of nicknames. El Gato, the Lars father. Yes, he did help create Lars, so congratulations to him on his birthday, on his name day. He is now as well the LA Galaxy goalkeeper coach, the only player in MLS history to play and start over 400 regular season matches, and named one of the 25 greatest players in MLS history by MLS. Guys, don't forget that this Wednesday it is Pride Night at the Digs. So this Wednesday against San Jose, the Galaxy will be wearing this special Pride pre-match top. Go ahead and check that one out. And then the Galaxy are offering a Pride ticket pack for Wednesday, where $5 of each ticket will be donated to the CRSELA. That's Chicas Rockers of Southeast Los Angeles. They amplify the voices of trans and gender expansive youth, girls, and artists from communities of color through music, mentorship, and social justice to empower themselves and their communities. Guys, go ahead and support your LGBTQ community. If you're going to the match this Wednesday and you don't have tickets, go ahead and pick up your tickets through this ticket pack here. Guys, there are some transfer rumors beginning to come out. El Colombiano, Juan Camilo Portilla, it seems, is being sounded out by the Galaxy. He is being sounded out by a number of teams in El Brasileirao, in Spain, and also MLS, one of those teams being the Galaxy. He's a center midfielder from Colombia, but more of a defensive midfielder, not like a real 8 true box-to-box midfielder like the Galaxy currently need, because they currently have Cerrillo and Sanabria that play el doble volante, Ananda, como se le dice. He currently plays his trade in Talleres de Argentina, and he's valued at $3.5 million. This one is one of those that we'll keep an eye on. We don't have a transfer tracker a la Josh or anything, but we'll update you as we get more news on this one. And just because I like messing with Ananda, this one never dies, and I don't think it'll die until this guy retires. Ronaldo being sounded out for the Galaxy again. Of course, he's being sounded out for Inter Miami, it looks like, as well. And I don't know if you heard about this, but he may unite with Messi for the Club World Cup in Inter Miami. But one of the rumors around this man, Ronaldo, and just because, again, Ananda loves this one, is that the Galaxy have tabled a 2-year offer for the former Manchester United great. A couple of Twitter accounts like MLS Central and All Things MLS on Twitter are the ones saying this. We'll go ahead and update you on this one, but most likely this is a non-starter, as it usually is. But Ananda, you know me. I just like,
don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh and shake my head. Moving on.
All right. Well, this one is for realsies. Gino Vivi is back. He made 31 appearances for Saprissa in his year-long loan. He scored 2 goals, but now he is back with the Galaxy, seemingly to kind of give them some reinforcements. It remains to be seen how much he'll be used, but anyway, he is back. So, you know what? Speaking of he is back, it seems like it's been a long time. You know, one of these cats that we're about to bring on was part of Lacuna Matata, part of our Liga G team. So he's back now with us on this show. So please welcome to the show, Peyton Bodwin and Tam Bongiorno from the Talking Galaxy podcast. And guys, please, apologies if I butchered the last names. I mean, I'm sincerely sorry if I did.
You need that page, man, that Joe Tatino has, man. You need that pronunciation page.
How are you guys doing?
Doing nice, man. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. Tab, it's been a long time, man. You know, we don't get on the sticks anymore. You know, so we've been missing you, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Guys, it's been let's just put it out there. I mean, it's usually a family show, but I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures, right? It's just been a shitty season, man. No one's having a good time. The players are frustrated. You know, I was down in the bowels of Snapdragon the other day at the end of that match, and I saw Mickey Yamane come off, and he's usually a very reserved guy, and he took off his headband and just like yelled out into the ether, and you know, it was one of those like frustrated, painful yells, like just like, Lord Jesus, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, not the one from Celebration, the more angry version, right? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Guys, we do something on the show called One Word Match Reaction. It was another horrible result on Saturday. Tell us what your one word match reaction is. Peyton, let's start with you, man.
Chaos.
That's
chaos. Okay, let us know a little bit more. Okay, I did say one word, but I want to know a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think the match itself was chaos from the very start to finish. You know, the Emiro Garces mistake that ended up leading to the goal, the Isaiah Parente cross. Everything just seems to fall apart for the LA Galaxy when it, you know, needs to not fall apart the most at the end of these games. And then obviously the main headline is after the game, all of the chaos that ensued in the stands. But I think it encapsulates both what happened on the field and off the field.
Yo, Big Tab, let us know what it is, man. One word match reaction.
I'm going to say embarrassing. I mean, just like Payne said, from the stands to the field, I mean, just the way everything was handled is embarrassing. Garces looks like an AOSO kid kicking the ball backwards. Obviously, the fights in the stands obviously isn't the best thing for our community, so that can be embarrassing as well. And then just continue the unbeaten streak. It's just embarrassing for the club, and we're almost there. We've been in every single game apart from Red Bulls, in my opinion, and we just can't get across the finish line.
Oof. Couldn't have said it better for myself, Papa.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty succinct statement on the season. We'll get back to Los Toxicos that is this Galaxy team. I think everybody is you know, kind of at this point now where it's just like just shaking your head. You don't even know what to do. But we'll get back to them. They'll be there. But let's talk about Shaw for a moment. Let's talk about Talking Galaxy and you know how that podcast started. You know, and this really nice community that you guys have built. What's up? How did it get going?
You want to start?
Yeah, I'll start talking. So I'm pretty sure it's Payne's idea. He wants me to start a podcast. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. So me, who was Talk Galaxies on there, Galaxy News 101, a bunch of creators. We all came together, created a podcast, and it's kind of started from there. We started talking about it kind of towards the end of last season, and then we started during preseason during Coachella Valley. Me and Peyton saw each other at Coachella, and we started talking about the podcast, and that's where it kind of started moving. And then we got the graphics going, and I think we're on episode like 30 or something now, so we're well in.
There it is.
We go, man. For those of you guys in chat that don't know, guys, where can the folks find Talking Galaxy? And then, you know, shout your own handles out as well.
Yeah, so we're Talking Galaxy over on Instagram and YouTube. We're looking to expand over onto TikTok and all, but just for now, we're doing that. And then, yeah, I'm GalaxyRunsLA over on Instagram and TikTok. I've been doing this for 2 seasons now, and I mean, it's incredibly fun, and I can't wish for a better like job. It's not a job, but just a hobby.
Yeah.
I'm LA Galaxy _Buzz on Instagram. I don't have any other platforms right now, but like Tab said, we're trying to expand more and more. I think very much this podcast is in the growing phase right now. This is season 1. So we're still trying to figure out what we want to do exactly. We've tossed around the idea of even like right now we're once a week on Tuesdays at 8, potentially doing 2 podcasts a week on, because we have live watch alongs. Another thing that we have is live watch alongs of all of the away games. We had one for San Diego. Every away game, we have a live watch along. And on our non-live watch along games, like when we have home games, potentially doing 2 podcasts a week could be an idea in the future. We might end up doing pre-match type of fan reactions. We have a lot of things we're considering right now. But yeah, I think it was Galaxy Memes who first floated around the idea of a podcast. If you haven't heard of him, he has great content. And then Griffin was supposed to, take the helm at the start. And, I know a lot of you guys watch Corner of the Galaxy. That's where we draw a lot of inspiration from as well as you guys, of course. You guys do a great job over here. And
don't watch us, man. We're hacks. That goes for you, chat. That goes for you, chat. But thank you for being here as well.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you guys having us on. But Griffin was supposed to take the role of almost like a Josh Guessman type of role for our podcast. But with his schedule, we've kind of had to rotate in people. It feels like you have something fresh every podcast. We never usually have the same crews. Not everyone's available with their schedule, but we have like 5 people who rotate in and out. So it's nice. It's nice, honestly. I enjoy it a lot.
Guys in chat, Cuneros, y'all know what to do. Y'all know we always been preaching about community on this podcast. Get behind Talking Galaxy. Go ahead and sub to their channel. Go ahead and help them grow that following too. I mean, they're 30 deep, and you know what? That's the important part, man. Just getting on it, and you guys are doing it. So thank you guys for adding another voice for fresh perspectives to the Galaxy. It's beautiful to have this rich, vibrant network of content creators and podcasts out here. And it's funny because Tab says he's been doing this for 2 years. He's experienced the highs and the lows of the Galaxy, right? This one goes out to both of you guys. Tab, I mean, 2 years in, I mean, you did the first year, it was the top of the mountaintop, and then you come into this year. Did you guys see this season coming? Did you guys have any inkling that it was going to go down 15 games now without a win? Peyton, let's start with you, man.
I don't think anyone could have predicted that we would have started this bad. But when you lose Mark Delgado, when you lose Dejan Joveljic, I didn't mind Brugman as much as other people did. I think if you have salary cap issues, I don't mind moving him. I know he had an incredible MLS Cup game. And even Jalen Neal, a young center back, re-signing Maya Yoshida, maybe he overstayed his welcome. So I think the signs were pointing at regression, and we know it's a league where it's very hard to repeat. But yeah, I mean, I've also been doing this for 2 years. So I went through the high highs and the low lows, and I can tell you, people can be very reactionary. Sometimes I think from the start, the San Diego game, a lot of alarm bells were ringing. Perhaps a little too early. Now that looks, like a valid take. But I think when you're a fan of the LA Galaxy and you're a fan of a team in MLS, things are going to go up and things are going to go down. And you have to be used to it all because MLS is a league of party. Look at any team. Almost nobody stays at top for an extended period of time. I think maybe Seattle in recent years have been the exception to that. But even recently, they've kind of come down from being a contender every year. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly different, and the fan reactions and the comments and stuff are, generally not positive, which is fine. I don't mind it. I totally understand it, and I feel like a lot of it is trying to keep your filter. Trying to keep your filter when it comes to reacting on the team, because you remember that you still have a job to do as a content creator and provide for people, you kind of got to keep a level head regardless of how you feel inside, which has been frustration, nothing but it.
Yeah, Peyton, I'm gonna say that I've been struggling with this recently, ask Ananda, because he's been calling me a Scrooge. But you know what, it is difficult because I've just been writing the same headline for the past couple of weeks, and it's, how many times can you write, Galaxy winless, and then they're breaking all these records all the time. Tab, how about you, man? Did you have any kind of inkling or any hint that the season was on the way? I mean, Galaxy lost key players. Did you think it was going to be this bad?
No chance. I mean, I think at the start of the season when we did our preseason predictions, I think all of the Talking Galaxy crew had the Galaxy 5th position or higher. I had him in 3rd place. I mean, we had high hopes. I thought, but coming into the season that we brought in players, they have good potential, but they just didn't fit in seamlessly like we thought they were. And with Ricky coming back, I'm like, oh, this team's going to be going for a playoff push, and here we are, dead last. I remember, for one of my pre-match predictions, I said, surely it can't get worse. This is after the Red Bulls game, and we go on to lose last minute to Philadelphia. I mean, it does get worse. And Bedrock always has a rock bottom, and we've hit rock bottom multiple times, we thought, and we just keep falling, and I don't know when we're going to stop, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that rock bottom is something that I think we keep on moving the goalposts on, and it really, I think, it's like I told Ananda a couple of pods ago. I mean, when is it must win? When it's mathematically not possible for them to lose, or else they're out of the playoffs. I think that's rock bottom once they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, because it's a wasted season. And it's crazy to think that if they don't pick up any points against San Jose or RSL, that it's the season's basically over in May, gents. I mean, it'll be very, very hard, if not impossible, for them to get into the playoffs. I mean, technically still mathematically impossible, but I mean, they'd have to go on the craziest monster run ever, just go God status. And I don't know, nothing about this Galaxy team has shown me that they're able to do that so far.
Yeah. And even if they do, they need 6 teams in front of them to lose. And so that's they need 2 things to go their way. So that's a huge mountain to climb, man. Yeah,
it is a huge mountain to climb, but we'll get into the game here. Let's, since these gents are here with us, we also do something here on this pod called I Used to Love Her, which is basically your Galaxy love story, like how you fell in love with the Galaxy, right? So Tab, what's up, man? Tell us how you fell in love with this. I mean, maybe you would go back and tell yourself, like, don't do it, they're just going to cause you pain. But how did you fall in love with the LA Galaxy?
Yeah, so I don't remember the exact year, but it was during the Beckham years. I used to go to Galaxy games with my family. I remember wearing 23 on my back during my AYSO days. So Beckham was my idol growing up, and then seeing Donovan playing number 10, that's my number now. So just seeing all those guys growing up, those are just inspirations for me. And it's just, you got the Beckham jersey there. I mean, that's how I fell in love with the game, and that was my first soccer team that I supported. I got I don't know what year this is, but this is my dad's from a while back. So just passing down from generation to generation, and that's where I am now.
I love that, like how you said you're passing it down from generation to generation, because that's how I convinced my wife to let me buy jerseys. I tell her, like, oh, they're going to be like part of the legacy of the family. Like, I'll pass it down to my son, and he'll pass it down to his son, and they'll be vintage kits, like they'll be 6 years. And she doesn't believe one word of it, but she lets me get the kit anyway. But Peyton, how about you, man? I Used to Love Her. How did you fall in love with this team called the LA Galaxy?
I'm gonna make you all feel old.
I already feel it, man.
Galaxy because it was a lot of time.
Wow.
About 2018. So I would say I'm more of a recent fan than obviously any of you guys are. But I started going to games in 2018 more as like a casual fan. My first game was LA Galaxy versus San Jose. Roman Alessandrini scored in a 1-0 win, I believe. I went to a few more games. weirdly enough, the turning point for me where I started really loving the LA Galaxy was the decision day game in 2018 against Houston.
Oh,
Can you believe that? Can you believe that that game was the day that I decided that I wanted LA Galaxy season tickets in 2019?
you wanted the pain. You wanted to.
Yeah.
You wanted the pain.
So 2019, I got season tickets. I started really liking all of MLS. I would watch pretty much every game. I would wake up at freaking like 10 a.m. On a Saturday for like Chicago versus New York City just to watch soccer.
MLS Sicko.
Yeah. I played my whole life, but I never really started watching until 2019, seriously watching. But ever since then, yeah, I've had season tickets every year. This year is my first year in Angel City Brigade. So if you ever see me in 121 or 122, come say hi. Before that, I was in row.
Shout out ACB.
Yeah. Shout out
Yes, sir.
ACB. I was in section 110. And I got to watch them win MLS Cup after all of the, very difficult years. I didn't get to see the MLS Cup years. And I was always like, wow, like I envy those people so badly who got to watch the Galaxy win MLS Cup with all these superstars, and seeing them win it last year was really bittersweet. And I really enjoyed that. It was one of the peak moments in all of sports for me.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be core memory for I think all of us here, especially after all those bad years. I mean, 2019 wasn't a great year either. So yeah, you picked a doozy to go ahead and get season tickets for. Right on. But you know what? I think those moments where the team that you're starting to get an interest in falls short. I mean, those are the moments where you really fall in love with the team. It's something about it. It's kind of like seeing. I don't know, you're just like, oh, that they need the love. They're down right now. They need the love. So you just kind of fall in love even harder. Unfortunately for us, who have decided to talk about this team on the regular, and they're giving us nothing at the moment. But guys, we also do something here on this pod called Word Association. We're going ahead and we're going to alternate between you guys both, since two of you are here with us. But the way it works is I give you a word or a person or a phrase, and then you tell me the first thing that pops into your head. It could be anything, but it's got to be quick and immediate, and you get one pass. So if you think your opinion might be too spicy, you can say pass, but you only get one, so use it wisely. So let's go ahead and start with Peyton. Let's go ahead and throw him a softball here at the beginning. Let's go ahead and go with Ricky Pooch.
Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, superstar. And you know what? We'll throw it to Tab as well. Tab, Ricky Pooch.
MVP.
Yeah, snubbed for damn sure. I think we're seeing now in retrospect. I mean, not only did he get snubbed last year, but I think we're seeing how important he is to this team. Ricky, recupérate pronto, por favor. Let's go with Tab. Here's another softball for y'all. Cosmo.
Let's see. Furry.
I think that's the first time we've gotten furry for Cosmo. And you know what? I saw Lilo and Stitch today, so he said he was cute and furry. And yes, Cosmo is cute and furry as well. Another lovable alien. Let's go with Peyton. It's going to start getting harder now. Let's give him Don Garber.
Oh, I can't say that. Terrible.
You got to pass. Yeah,
Terrible.
You can use a pass.
Terrible.
All right, so terrible it is. All right, Tab, Landon Donovan.
Goat.
Man. Okay. Peyton, LAFC.
Trash.
The whole basura, Peyton.
yes.
So
Yes.
now we will give Tab Will Kuntz.
Chef.
Yep.
Chef.
Doesn't like that nickname too much, but you know what? Yeah, he says it makes him hungry, but yeah. He definitely chefed it last year.
You know, Ananda, sidebar. I as you know, I went to San Diego with wifey. You know, she accompanied me on this trip to cover this match. And she went on a lengthy tirade about how people really shouldn't be upset at Greg. Really who they should be pointing fingers at is Will. And I was like, yo,
so you're saying she should be on this podcast instead of me? That's we'll trade places, because that's that's an interesting little spicy meatball.
Nah, she'll fade all four of us, man. She's I mean, if she really wanted to go ahead and get a Galaxy podcast going, I mean, she'd probably be damn good. But anyway, she made some interesting points. Maybe one day, I'll break them down here. But that there it is. Will Kuntz, brilliant. I still think he's brilliant. Last one here. Peyton, it seems like I might be giving you all the toughy ones. And I apologize for that, but this is the second to last one. Greg Vanney.
Overhated.
Oh, okay. I like it. I think I'm with you there. And Tab will finish it out here on word association with San Diego Football Club. Oof.
Fake.
All right. Well, one thing that wasn't fake for damn sure was the violence that erupted this weekend. I'm pretty sure that everyone saw the fights going on. It made it even onto like right-wing fringe Twitter accounts talking like I was like, damn, like this really did get far. But anyway, guys, if you aren't in the know, post LA Galaxy San Diego, fights broke out across various parts of the stadium. The biggest one was, of course, like in the main section where Galaxy fans were, in the concourse as well post match, and in other sections of Snapdragon, where unfortunately women and children were put in danger's way. Women were also punched while being on the ground. There's a couple of G's that I personally know that made me aware of women being punched, and just it's unacceptable. Per David Martinez of the Galactic Tribune, he gives us a little backstory on what could have caused the initial fights. He says the trigger appears to have been a months-long feud between the Galaxy's Angel City Brigade and San Diego's Dago Boys supporter group. According to comments on the LA Galaxy subreddit, the Dago Boys had a flag stolen by ACB during the team's February meeting in Carson on Saturday. Galaxy supporters brought the stolen flag to Snapdragon Stadium and displayed it upside down at full time, a provocative act that incited immediate retaliation. The San Diego Tribune also reported on this incident. They said more than a dozen police cars arrived to restore order along with a helicopter. After most fans filed out of the stadium, some San Diego supporters appeared to approach the visitor section and multiple fistfights erupted, some dangerously close to the railing above the lower bowl. They go on to say that Galaxy fans broke through the security line after the neon yellow jackets of security guards, which had been guarding the Galaxy supporters during the game, were left and were nowhere to be found. Unfortunately, this seems to be a pattern now with San Diego fans. This is the second time now that they've had this type of incident of brawling with a Los Angeles team. Same thing happened when LAFC visited Snapdragon earlier in March. And this was per reporting from Tony Sanchez and our friend from San Diego Football. So this seems to be a repeat behavior. Of course, they were also cautioned by the league for using the chant at the beginning of the year, and it prompted a response from both sides in post match in a press release, which basically gives you the standard let's we're going to be united in our efforts to provide a safe environment for fans. We don't condone fining, all that kind of stuff. SDFC head coach Micovic said our club values are really clear. There's no place for violence in the sport. This is a beautiful game. It's supposed to bring joy. Guys, I was there. Unfortunately, I was in the bowels of Snapdragon, so I didn't see this go down. I found out about this after the fact, but I'm sure that you guys started hearing about it in the immediate moments as it was going down. What's your reaction to this? I mean, Peyton, I'm sure no one likes to see violence, but given everything that you hear, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so actually, I was in the supporter section for this game. So I saw everything as it was going down. So at the start, post match, it was relayed before the game that they were going to hold Galaxy fans 20 minutes after the match. And, you know, obviously, because to get to the Galaxy section, like back to the parking lot, we had to go through the San Diego tailgate, which is really bad on Snapdragon's part for that to be organized in that way. But so they held us 20 minutes after the match, but that message wasn't clearly relayed to everybody. And some Galaxy fans were frustrated with security for that. And that ended up just sorting itself out because they're like, we can't do anything. Like, this is protocol. This is what we're told. It's for your own safety. And then about 5 minutes later, San Diego fans come and they start splashing beer on all of these Galaxy fans and throwing things at them. And I've seen a lot of misinformation online, and I'm not totally sure, you know, if those were the same people in the supporters groups who went over because they saw the flag was stolen. But from my perspective, it was an act of, you know, provocation from San Diego supporters. But I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, classic LA fans, like this is what you get with the LA fan base. Like they're all the same. When it's like a lot of people, I want to clarify this. The Galaxy fans did not start the physical altercation. San Diego fans triggered it by their actions and by throwing things at Galaxy fans. And obviously, in that case, they're going to respond. I'm not sure what San Diego fans expected. If you're going to throw beer at people, throw things at people, and they were outnumbered, like 15 to probably 100 people. And there was, I mean, yeah, I don't condone violence whatsoever in any shape or form. You know, I think it has no room in the game, and it's unfortunate it got to that point. The fact that people were laying their hands on women is unbelievable behavior. It's unbelievable, unacceptable. And this is not the first time. This is the second time now that this has happened between San Diego fans and fans of other MLS teams. And then obviously you talked about the homophobic chant. I want to talk about something here. The fact that security did nothing in all of this. Security, that's my frustration, is the fact that security waited and watched as this escalated for like 25 minutes straight. It felt like an eternity, and security did nothing. There was one security guard in the upper deck, but the whole time before the match, they were like flexing police cars outside of the stadium. They had so much security before the game standing by the tunnels, but when it actually came down to it, nobody showed up. So what's the point? Why are you going to flash security? Why are you going to strong arm us with police officers and act like you do something when you do nothing? You do nothing when it actually matters. And some people are like, it's better to not get security involved. I get that. But police officers outside of the stadium, they're right there, did nothing. And this lasted 25 minutes. And by the time security actually came up, it was all over anyway. It was all over. Like, you know, it's unfortunate. And I think it was a complete security failure. Whoever's running security of Snapdragon they need to look at that and overhaul everything that's happened, because that's unacceptable for it to get to that point for that long. I've never seen anything like it.
100%.
We also have El Primo Comments 96 in chat, and they say all facts was also there and matches what I saw. Tab, these videos were seen pretty much worldwide. I mean, one of the videos that I saw, I mean, that alt-right wing one that posted the video had like 2 million views. So like, I know this video has been seen at least 2 million times. So you know, what are your impressions of what went down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wasn't there to see everything that went down, so I can't really speak on exactly what happened, but I mean, it's just not good publicity for the Galaxy. People that aren't fans of the team are gonna be like, oh, typical LA, kind of like how Peyton was saying. They're just gonna associate LA with all these fights and stuff, and it's unfortunate because it sounds like it wasn't our fault. And then, I mean, I think this is more on San Diego and like Snapdragon security, like Peyton was saying. They had the trial run with LAFC kind of earlier in the season, and same thing went down. They didn't learn from their mistakes, and same thing happened. And it sounds like this is more in San Diego than us.
Guys, you know what's crazy about this? This is the sad part that I talked about at the top of the show, Rob. This is literally like one accident away, like one person falling from the lower bowl down away from this becoming like a huge tragedy, a huge PR nightmare,
Truth.
a huge everything, right? That's the saddest part
Truth.
about this. Like literally that guy, I saw the video, like that guy was inches away from crawling over that and just falling. I forgot. I think it happened in a baseball game recently, right, guys? It just correct me. But man, and that's the saddest part. It's like, this could have been tragic. It could have been. And I 100% agree with both of you guys. Security, y'all gotta shape up, man. This is awful.
Yeah, man. Ananda, I'd be lying if I said that I saw any lapses. At least where I was, it was pretty mellow, but I was in the press box. But I do want to comment on San Diego's just basically what Mikey Vara said post match. Our club values are really clear. I don't think they are, Mikey, because this seems to be a repeated pattern of your fan base putting people in danger, and or whether it's physically or whether it's through verbal actions, like I mentioned with the chant earlier in their season. They seem to have done a decent job in trying to get rid of that, but it's just a repeated pattern of misbehavior from this fan base. I do know that whenever the Galaxy is involved in any kind of flares or any kind of altercations, the league is very quick to come down on the Galaxy and punish them. It's happened before. ACB has gotten bans. Lars has gotten bans. The league, it does not spare punishment. So I hope that they keep that consistency when it comes time to dole out punishment for the perpetrators of this. And one of the things that I found gratifying was that at least the San Diego Tribune put the fault on security as well. Peyton, you were mentioning, you were questioning security and where they were at. San Diego Tribune does as well. It was definitely a lapse on Snapdragon's part. Let's face it. Let's hope for San Diego's sake. It's Snapdragon is a temporary home for them, because it's just not. They've done a pretty decent job with it, but it's just not, for me anyway, up to MLS standard. It's just not. Somebody mentioned it earlier. It's just, there's no shade or visible just respite from the heat anywhere. And then these things like the behavior of the fans just make it an unappealing stadium to go to as well. So Peyton, I find interesting that you were talking about the robust police presence. I also heard from, again, people that I know pretty well that were at the game, that there was a substantial ICE presence as well. So, again, Mikey Vara says our club values are really clear, but again, Mikey, I don't think they are, because you're putting a significant section of your own fan base at risk, or just in a position to feel threatened or uncomfortable with a pronounced ICE presence at these games. So it's just a complete failing on the part of that organization. They do a lot of things right. I've talked them up with their academy, but this was a failure on their part, just top to bottom with security. And I think the only part that they did get right is putting out a statement, a swift statement afterwards. But in the moment, it's got to be better. And Ananda, you're right. This is just a one tragedy away. I saw a picture where one guy was basically on the railing, being pushed on the railing. And all it takes is a push, and it's a tragedy. And we never want to see that in this game. And so for the safety of people that are going to enjoy these matches, I beg and I implore, think action to be taken, swift action, so that this never happens again. So anyway, saying all that, guys, I guess now we got to talk about this match. Somebody said earlier, the that the fans put in more fight than the team. Yes, we never want to see violence, but you do want to see people defending the shirt. Continuing their 2025 MLS regular season winless campaign, the Galaxy fell 2-1 at the death on the road to San Diego FC before 30,000 fans at Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday afternoon. The Galaxy scored first for the third game running, with Diego Fagundes putting the Galaxy ahead with a perfectly placed curling golazo in the 40th minute. Good on Nelson for doing that lovely overlapping run to create the space for Fagundes. The lead would only last a minute, though, as San Diego's passing and movement would pull the G's defense apart for Jeppe Svrskov to play in Luca De La Torre, and then De La Torre side foots it to finish at Micovic's front post. And it seemed destined to end 1-1 and for each side to get a point. But then Zaya Parente plays a bad pass that was deflected into Emiro Garces' path, who tried to volley instead of head out. A clearance. Andres Dreyer picks up the loose ball and sends it across into the box, where Chucky Lozano, all 5'5" of him, rises up to head home for the win at the death for San Diego, and the Galaxy remain winless. Boys, you've seen a lot of stuff go down already this year. Them lose at the death against Philly, the 7-0, them lose without giving up a shot on goal. They give up the goal at the death to Lozano. Tab, what is your immediate thought? Can you even believe it, or are you like, no, there's got to be like an offside or something like that, right? Like, are you? What's going through your head?
Yeah, so when I was watching the game, I was getting ready to post my full-time score, 1-1. I'm like, okay, we'll take a point back to LA. I look up, cross comes in, Lozano heads. I'm like, are you serious right now? This is the second time that's happened, and it's just the team lacks discipline. It seems like Garces boots it backwards somehow. Parente with the bad pass. I mean, it's just mistakes, like on mistakes, and that's just where we fall. Fans talked about this multiple times, where the team needs to stop compiling mistakes, and that's where the goals come from. And then just conceding in these last minutes, we conceded a minute after we score our goal. It's just a lack of discipline and a lack of just effort, I feel like, and that's what we're missing right now.
No, you're not wrong. That discipline, and we talk about it all the time on the show. We'll talk about it in a moment. That mentality. Peyton, you see this goal go in, Galaxy lose 2-1, still winless on the season. Can you even believe it at this point? Like, where are you on the scale of negotiation? Like, nah, come on. Like, what was that? Like, what would you give now to get that win?
I can believe it. I can absolutely believe it, because what can go wrong this year will go wrong. You saw it with the Philadelphia game. We had a 2-0 lead, and we ended up bottling that. Every time it seems like the Galaxy are destined to get a decent result or an okay result, they manage to, take the gun, shoot it straight to their foot, and, end up losing a match that they very much could have got a result out of. So, Emiro Garces, I'm not sure what he was. I don't know how that even goes there. I don't know what kind of clearance that was. And how many games has it been now where Emiro Garces himself has cost us a game with a mistake like that? Oh, well, I could tell you it's for sure too, because it's been twice against San Diego now. A lot of people blame Novak Micovic for the first goal against San Diego in the first game. I'll say it's probably more 50-50. But Emiro Garces, I think he's a little boneheaded sometimes. He's a little boneheaded, and sometimes his pace can make up for that. I mean, you saw it last year when he came onto the scene. You're like, wow, this guy's incredible. But you'd see a couple mistakes, but it'd be fine because he'd make up with it for his speed, except that's not happening this year. I mean, he's still just as fast, but he's making mistakes that he can't make up with his speed. Which is an issue. That's why you saw him benched at the start of the year for Zonka, until Zonka somehow proved to be even worse. Zonka is one of the worst center backs I've watched. Miki Amane got torched in this match. I can't count the amount of times that San Diego just walked right past Miki Amane. He's had a slump to start the year. He was probably the best right back in MLS, in my opinion, last year. He's taken a step back this year. I don't know if it's some of these guys are coming back to what they are as a player, if they were overperforming last year. if maybe this doesn't even match what they truly are, that they're a bit better than this, and last year was just, you know, their all-time peak. But I mean, yeah, I can absolutely believe it, because this season has been the season of the Galaxy just losing in unexplainably cursed ways. I don't know what needs to happen, but there is a curse on the LA Galaxy. I think that's the only way you can explain this to happen. I was looking at it earlier. Not only, you know, have we beaten the most, you know, winless to start an MLS season, we're smashing it now. Like we are beating it by a good margin that probably won't be beat for a lot of years to come, and it might be 17 with what it looks like over the next week, but we'll see how that develops.
Guys, let's start at the beginning here with this match. The lineup comes out, and a couple of interesting things already to note, in that you don't have a recognized 9 and you have a goalkeeper switch here. So Micovic starts. Per Alex Ruiz, according to FBref, John McCarthy is at the bottom of post-shot XG, goal allowed among MLS keepers. His -4 rating ranks at the bottom among goalkeepers with 9+ games played. Greg told us post-match that he normally gives the goalkeepers a shot on East Coast trips, and since that didn't happen for Novak, that he gave him a full week of training, and then he wanted to give him this match since he didn't give him the East Coast swing. Ananda, go ahead and give us your impressions of this starting lineup. Take us through your thoughts.
Well, I think the biggest surprise is Micovic in goal, right? I think that was a shocker for probably most of us, and I'll get the boys' thoughts here on maybe their eye test of his performance. And I think the other one was JP at number 9. I think we've experimented with that a little bit last year. I'm sure Greg was thinking, all right, I need space in behind. You know, San Diego is a team that likes to clog the middle. We heard that from Greg pre and post match. So maybe his thought was, you know what, like maybe there's times where we need to bypass the midfield and hit JP over the top in space. I think we've tried that a few times, and I think it also forced JP and Peck to be closer to each other, to maybe play off each other a little bit, because we know that's going to be your two-headed weapon, right? Up top. It's going to be those two guys that theoretically on paper are going to make the difference. So maybe that's what he was thinking there. But yeah, I think Micovic, man. I think Micovic is the big one. But you know what's funny is, like, I don't think it mattered who played in goal like this game. It really doesn't matter. Like at this point, I really don't think so. But yeah, what do you guys think of Micovic's performance? It's, you know, pretty even keel, or nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a chance where he like stood out or anything.
Yeah,
I mean, the first goal he conceded, it went through his legs, but I mean that's just goalkeeping at times. You can't really blame him. He's trying. So I don't think like he did bad, but I don't think he did great either. He didn't stand out. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him for another game, but I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I don't think it matters who's in goal. I haven't seen people blame Novak Micovic really for either one of the goals, and I think that's fair, because I don't think he's at fault for either one of the goals.
Right.
But I don't mind the switch, because look at John McCarthy. He's terrible. I don't rate John McCarthy whatsoever as a goalkeeper. Last year, obviously, did enough to get us over the line. But this year, when you have 0 wins through 15 games, what's there to lose? What is there to lose? Everyone thought at the start of the year that Novak Micovic was the problem. When we switch him out, we're going to start getting results, and that hasn't happened. So, you know, John McCarthy hasn't fared any better for the results. I know Novak Micovic had a few mistakes at the start of the year, but it's like, why not play the young guy? Play him and see if he's your guy or not. I don't mind if he starts the rest of the season, because by the end of the year, we're going to know if he is the starter for the LA Galaxy or he's not. Right now, I don't feel comfortable with him being the starter going into 2026, because I don't think he's done enough to prove that, you know, he hasn't stood out like you guys said. He didn't make big saves in these games. He didn't perform badly. It's just it more goes towards the back line. I don't mind Novak Micovic starting. Like you said, Joseph Payne still playing at 9. I don't know why Marco Reus wasn't playing the false 9 like in previous
Exactly.
games. There was nothing wrong with that. I had no issue with that, and you got the best out of Marco Reus. I know Fagundes got a goal in his position, but I liked Fagundes, Cerrillo, Sanabria in the midfield, and then Royce false 9 with Peck and Payne still at the wings. That worked.
Yep.
Why change it?
Yeah, Joe 13 Cool agrees with you, Peyton. He says, when I saw the lineup, I was scared with Diego as a 9, but when it ended up JP, just why? If you're using a false 9, use Royce. I mean, that seems to support that, Royce as the 9 with Peyton and Peck, and Diego just behind with Lucas and Edwin just next to him. Guys, I mean, you might be right. I mean, it might be to the point where you got to give Micovic games just because the season might be a wash, and if it is a wash, then you give him these games to see if he is your starting goalkeeper for 2026.
By the way, I think that applies across the pitch, man. I think you've got these guys are at this point they're playing for contracts, right? There's a couple of guys, especially the younger guys, they only have 1 year left in their deal. This is the last year, and you got to give them a chance, man. At this point, there's nothing else left to lose. Let the young kids play. Let them play for their contract. Let's see if they deserve to be on this roster next year, and go from there, right? I think the roster decisions are up in the air at this point.
Sounded like you said the Rasta decisions, and I was like, who's a Rasta? Anyway, Marco Reus recorded his team-leading 4th assist in his 10th appearance in this match. In his last 6 matches played, dating back to the end of April, he has 7 goal contributions, and he's recorded a goal contribution in 3 consecutive matches. Diego has recorded 2 goals in his last 2 road matches, and the man we were just talking about, Novak, made his first start since March 9th. Ananda, I know you have a couple of things you want to talk about stats-wise that may give us a little bit more insight on where this game was lost, because, yes, it was lost there at the death with Emiro making that terrible mistake, but it was also lost in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go through the box score really quick, guys. But I'll give you my sort of outcome of this, which is actually not going to be stat related, funny enough. But one thing I wanted to point out was possession, which was really interesting. Which is, if you look at the last 3 games, the Galaxy have been not only outpossessed, but outpossessed fairly handily. We had 40% possession, for example, against Philadelphia. So I think this is kind of interesting. And I said, guys, watch this space, watch this trend over the next few games. And maybe Greg's at the point where, whether it's just not trusting his midfield wholly yet, especially without Ricky. He's at that place where he's kind of like, okay, let me concede possession. Let me see if I can hit teams on the break, which, by the way, against Philadelphia, we had 2 shots on goal in the first half on the break, and we scored on those 2, right? So it's like that can be an effective way to play in certain situations, but I think he's at that point, and he might have made a post-match comment to you guys as well, Rob, about this idea. He's kind of tweaking it a little bit, conceding a little bit more possession, I think just out of necessity more than anything else, especially from a personnel perspective. Shots 13-9, San Diego. Shots on goal, San Diego with 2, Galaxy with 1. Again, total passes. This is something last year which would have been a total anomaly, which is San Diego 575 total passes versus LA Galaxy 381 at an 88% passing accuracy clip versus our 80%. Again, just not a typical, if you think about Vanny and his possession style, that's not what it's been looking like, especially the last 3 games. So again, continue to watch that trend to see how that goes over time. And again, the expected goals, 2.6 for San Diego, 1.1. So even, Rob, like, we don't have that much of the possession, and we're not getting a lot of, at least big chances off. Again, I think we only had 1 big chance in this game, or even 0. But here's my big thing, man, and this is what I tweeted at full time. You can look at stats here. I'm actually going to quote myself verbatim. This hack called Winless Galaxiana online. He says, there comes a point when there's no point or reason to pull up stats, analyze tactics for individual performances. The capitulation in key moments to throw away points is something you can't put a stat to. It's all between the years now. Mentality and game management. And guys, this goes to our first point, and Rob sort of alluded to it earlier. I mean, one of them is...
So did Peyton. So did Peyton.
Yeah.
I mean, Tad, I think Tad did as well. I think all of us have talked about it.
Everyone did. I mean, it's not. There's no point in looking at stats right now. It's all in between the years. It's all mentality, and a huge part of it, man, is. And I mean, you guys have played, so I think you guys will understand this, which is when individual mistakes happen, like especially in the course of a game, when you're trying to chase a game, or you're trying to get a game winner, or just hang on and get a result, right? Especially away from your ground, they demoralize and destabilize a team. You saw how many heads were on the ground. Like, I think 5 or 6 players were onto their knees when that second goal came in, and it's just a huge destabilizing force. And that's killed us all season, guys. I mean, of course, in this game, Parente's decision to make that pass and then Garces's mistake. But let's jog down memory lane, guys. Let's recall all the individual mistakes. Peyton, you remember a couple of them because you just said it just a moment ago. But match week 1, San Diego, Garces heavy touch to give that first goal, and that's the one you mentioned, Peyton. Match week 3, St. Louis,
3 points lost.
Micovic drops a ball off that first corner, remember, guys? And that was well on our way to an 0-3 loss at home. Match week 6, you remember that Muriel free kick that McCarthy, banana hands, just went through his hands mysteriously, lost at least 2 points, if not all 3 in that match.
So we're at 5 now.
Match week 7, RSL Zonka makes that stupid error on the clearance for the, I don't know what he was doing there on Diego Luna's second goal. So that completely that was in the first half. So completely gives us a 0-2 advantage. And at that point, our offense was not clicking at all. Match week 8, Houston at home, Zonka again. He doesn't play the ball out and gets a straight red for pulling back Ponce, and the G's play with 10 men for 65 plus minutes. Now that was honestly a miraculous result. We came from behind in that match to get any sort of result. But again, like you're putting your team on the back foot. And then of course, our favorite match, Rob, because we were there. Match week 12, Red Bull New York away. McCarthy cheaply gives the ball away off a goal kick for a goal. And then of course, the last play of the game, Mickey Yamane back passes into our own net. So just beautiful individual mistakes all around. I mean, I probably missed some, but those are the ones that definitely caught my. And again, like this is just inexcusable because it happens over and over and over again. And this goes back to Peyton's point earlier, which is you expect leaders or veterans like Zonka not to make these mistakes. And I just called out his name, twice, right? So again, it's not only just these mistakes, but the mentality over the 90 minutes. I mean, we were just in this situation 2 games ago. Like, how could you not learn from that mistake and play for the 90 minutes, right, guys? So I think you can sense the frustration in my voice. So maybe I should stop talking at this point. But yeah, just those 2 things. I mean, you guys have talked about it, but Rob has harped on it this year, and maybe that's why he's been a Scrooge. And now I'm like, Rob, you do you, man. Go be a Scrooge. I'm cool with that because
I was already Scrooging, bro.
I think it's the what do we say, like the definition of insanity, right? It's these things are constantly happening and this team is not learning from their mistakes. And again, you guys have played, so you guys probably understand this better than most. But yeah, man, just not good enough, guys. Not good enough. Any reactions to any of that?
I think you're spot on.
Go ahead, Tab. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the individual mistakes. I think every game there's got to be one mistake that's led to a goal. I think just the lack of concentration, that's just what's killing us. And then like we're just learning from our mistakes either. Like Ananda said, we were in this position 2 weeks ago and we can't think back to that time. Oh, we conceded in the last minute to lose 2 points from us. We do it again 2 weeks later, and who's to say we're not going to do it again, which considering the trend, it's probably going to happen. So be ready.
So I have a question for you guys, especially because you guys have played before. How much of individual errors and the mentality, how much of it is on the players and how much of it is on Greg? Because Greg can't cross the white line and do these things, right? So, and that's something I've always struggled with when I sort of analyze these things. But you guys have played before. What do you think? How much of this is on Vanny? How much of this is on players?
I would say that, I mean, Greg Vanny's not playing for the LA Galaxy right now. He's not able to be on the field and prevent, a freak error by, either Novak Micovic, literally everything he just went through. A lot of people have been hard on Greg Vanny, and I understand that. And I think a lot of the reasons are truly valid. I don't think he's done himself any favors this year, but at the same time, you look at some of these mistakes, and I just can't blame it on Greg. I can't blame it on Greg. These are individual mistakes, and I'll tell you, it's a mentality issue. All these players are now, questioning themselves. They're questioning themselves.
Yeah.
They're, they can't put through a full 90-minute performance. Even when the Galaxy reach like the 90th minute and a result, it looks like we're going to get an okay result. You're still like, we're going to mess this up. The players feel like, okay, we're going to mess this up. This is going to go bad. This is going to go bad in some way. Look at after the San Diego goal. All of the players fell flat instantly. I was there in the supporters group watching that. the players fell flat on, like, they just buried their head in the dirt. They buried their head in the dirt, absolutely defeated. I haven't seen a team look that defeated in so long. They know it's a mentality issue now. It's not a talent issue. I don't care. I know we've had injuries, but like Ricky Puig being out, this roster is not this bad. This roster, I've seen terrible rosters in Major League Soccer that have gotten some results. This is not one of them. This is an okay roster. It's not the best in MLS, but it's all right. It's definitely better than what the results are showing. But when the players' mistakes overcome and overshadow everything, it doesn't matter what Greg Vanny could tell them. If they're just gonna go ahead and make the mistake on the field, he can't control that. It's just a freak mistake. It's a curse.
Yeah, no, you guys are absolutely right. It's the mentals. The great Marshawn Lynch, man, said there's nothing more important than watching your chickens, watching your mentals, and man, the Galaxy just aren't mentally locked in enough to, you know, give what they need to give in the key moments. And an example of this is, you know, earlier I called out Mike Varas for his whole values thing. But one thing that he did say post match that I agreed with is that Chucky Lozano tracking back on Gabriel Peck on that breakaway where Peck seemingly was gone and in on goal, and he made up the ground and stole that ball from Peck. Debatable on whether or not there was a foul there or not, but Marco Royce ends up getting the yellow card for a foul on Lozano. That's elite mentality, man. That's like winning mentality. That's like we will do whatever we effing have to get this result. And Greg spoke about it post match about how Emiro just seemed to shut off after 93 minutes instead of 95 minutes, you know, and how yes, Emiro makes a mistake, but everything is compounded by the initial mistake, and that's the way it's been all season. Mistakes compound on mistakes, and then they give up goals, and then they give up another goal, and before you know it, they're chasing a match 2-3-0, and that's the kind of difference in the Galaxy's play at the moment, is that, you know, you are getting, for me anyway, you're getting mistakes on or excuses on why they can't win versus this elite mentality of, no, I got to track this guy down with everything I have, or else, you know, we might not win. You're just not seeing that kind of elite mentality or hustle from the Galaxy right now. I just don't know if the heart is there, man.
The elite mentality, which we had last year. Just last year, we get punched in the mouth in the first half. Okay, we'll score 2 on you. We get punched in the mouth with 2 goals. Okay, we'll score 3 on you at SKC, right? It's like we had this, and it just disappeared like magic in less than, you know, 3-4 months.
We have a first super chat of the night. The homie Tony Toscano. Hey,
Tony.
Papo, what's up? Welcome. He says Vanny has his issues, but this is 90% on the players. I think the roster/salary rules discourages the current roster to keep stepping after winning a cup. Great guest on the show, by the way. G's up. We agree. And while we're at it, chat, anybody that's in here, go ahead and subscribe so that you guys know when we have great guests on. And while we're at it, go ahead and subscribe to Talking Galaxy as well. Go ahead and show those boys some love. So after this defeat, guys, Galaxy's still winless. I actually asked Diego this question because we're getting on to almost halfway through in the season. 2 matches left, San Jose and RSL. Then it'll be that Gold Cup break, 17 matches in, and that exact midpoint. So I asked Diego, what's the expectation? You know, what are you guys playing for right now? Are you guys you know, still thinking you guys have a realistic shot at playoffs? And he answered in that they're just taking it match by match. They're not even thinking playoffs. They're just thinking the next match, trying to get over the hump and trying to get that first win. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, this regular season might be over already, guys. I mean, in May, incredibly, the damnedest thing that we've ever seen. what are you guys looking to get out of the rest of the season? Peyton is, I mean, the season might be lost. I mean, mathematically, I'm one of those people that holds on to hope, but
It's a hope that kills you.
yeah, it's a hope that kills you. But is that you, or are you still holding on to hope that there might be something there, or what are you looking to get out of the rest of this?
No, I mean, I think this season is over. I have seen nothing from this LA Galaxy team that would say that we're going to actually make a comeback and going on an elite run. You look at the points per game we'd have to average to get to a play-in spot, would be about what Inter Miami did last year in their record-breaking year. We're getting to that point where we're not mathematically eliminated, but I mean, it's just a matter of time because these points add up. It could only be, it's still so early in the season before these points actually start mattering to the LA Galaxy. And it's time. You have 0 wins in 15 games. These points matter. You don't you're playing the rest of the season with 4 points in 15 games. That's a massive hole. It's too big of a hole for the Galaxy to climb themselves out of, in my opinion. What I want to see is players play for their jobs. Nobody in this team besides a very select few, obviously the designated players, and maybe guys like Lucas Sanabria, we've already signed long term. There's nothing we could really do there. But everyone's playing for their spots. Everyone's playing for their jobs. This is their career. If you want to show up and that you want to stay another year, or maybe go to a different MLS team, you got to prove it now, or you're going to be out of the league. This is your future at stake. And what I want to see is the Galaxy be sellers in the summer. I want whatever contracts are expiring in the winter of 2025 for the Galaxy to get rid of most of those players that they have no intentions on signing long term. I mean, you look at the free agents. I have a free agent list, not on me right now, but there's a lot of free agents. All 3 of our strikers are up after this year. There's a lot of flexibility they could have. I'm very optimistic about 2026. If you can do what you did in 2023 and get yourself another piece like Edwin Cerrillo, obviously not the same position. We have plenty of 6s, but a player who just needs a change of scenery, get that in the summer. But more importantly, get some allocation casualties, get some cap casualties out, get the last bit of profit you can make out of some of these guys before they become free agents, and just people that you want to do away with. Now, what value you're going to get for some of these guys probably isn't great. But look at it. I think in 2026, you're going to have all 3 of your DPs back. I think Peck's played himself into another year. Painsel's always been a long-term guy in my mind. And obviously, Ricky's coming off the ACL tear. At the end of the year, Ricky's going to come back, and I want to see him get minutes. I want to see him just get minutes and get settled in, so in 2026, he can hit the ground running. I want the rest of the season to be a setup for 2026 because it might sound crazy, but I think we can be MLS Cup contenders if we hit the right spots, if we sign the right players. It might sound crazy. That's what I think could happen in 2020.
Yeah, we proved it last year, so that's not a far cry for sure.
Tab, you heard your mate Peyton say, like maybe Ann says in chat, some of Payton's words, blow it up. Season's over. Do you agree? Do you think that the season's over, or do you think that maybe it's salvageable on any level? Maybe make a major move in the transfer window. There's still the Campeones Cup to play. Does that lift the mood at all? What kind of preference, priority do you give to the Leagues Cup?
Yeah, I mean, my heart says we're still in it, but my brain and my eyes tell me otherwise. I mean, this team has been awful. Our DPs are not performing. Those are players that we need to perform. Those are where we get our goals from, and they're just not performing. And it trickles down from DPs to the max 10 players. Royce is having a good season, but Diego Fagundes isn't having his best, but he's doing all right. It's sad to see that the players aren't performing to where they are, because you can see how they are at their peak, and then playing without confidence. You see Peck, he's almost like at the start of the 2024 season where he didn't look adjusted. He didn't take on players. He kind of just passing it backwards, and you kind of seen that similarity, at least I am, where he's not taking on players every single time. He's getting beat in the 1v1 battles. He's playing against a 18-year-old Luca Bombino who outmatched him in this game. And it's not to the level that we need. And I think, yeah, like Peyton was saying, that he's played himself into another year. We're going to see Peck for at least another year from now. So I'm excited for 2026. We got all our DPs coming back, and I hope Ricky hits the ground running this season because we're going to need him next season.
Well, none of the Talking Galaxy boys have spoken. They say 2025 is a wash. You know me though. Until it's mathematically impossible, I'm gonna hold on to some kind of hope. Gents, we do something here on the show called Defending the Badge. It's not really like a player of the game per se, but it's the player who, for you, defended the colors, defended the crest, and defended the shirt the most. It could be, the player of the match, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So we had a couple of people that could be candidates. Diego Fagundes was the goal scorer. Of course, you have some of the standout players here from this match: Marco Reus, JP, and Lucas Sanabria. But you can pick whoever you'd like. Maybe Ant says no one.
We've picked no one before on this pod, so that's plausible.
We have, although that's not the case this week for me anyway. Peyton, do you have a Defending the Badge winner for match week 15?
Yeah, I mean, Marco Reus, in my opinion. I think, obviously his form has been exceptional. Ever since he came back from that injury, I've really liked what Marco Reus has done. I was hard on him before the injury. The thing with him is that his whole career, he's had periods of being great. Right now, he's in that period. I'm very worried about his long-term injuries, that, he might be in this great spell of form, but with Marco Reus, it could just be one game that takes him out for the next 10.
And he's played a lot of minutes recently.
Yeah. And I'm worried about that. But I think he's somebody who stepped up for the Galaxy at the start. You never really saw him, but he stepped into that attacking mid role, and he's really performed exceptional there. So I really like what Marco Reus has done recently. Another game, obviously, he got an assist in this one. He's leading the LA Galaxy in assists with 4. I like how he's come around. At the start of the year, it wasn't great, hit the injury, but ever since, he's been phenomenal. He's been that guy so far. It's interesting to see what they end up doing with him, but I liked how he played in this match against San Diego.
Tab, who's your Defending the Badge winner?
I got to give it to Fagundes. I think you see him showing the passion. He's scoring up to Lozano, I remember, in the game. He has the fight. Unfortunately, I don't think his talent matches what we need for right now, but he's the one fighting. I think he has the passion, and that's what we need right now. And I think that's what the team needs to feed off of him. So he needs to just keep it up, and hopefully the team feeds off that energy that he has and that he releases, and hopefully that gets us going.
Well, there you have it, y'all. Chat. The boys from Talking Galaxy have chosen Marco Reus and Diego Fagundes as your Defending the Badge winners for this week. And pretty soon, somebody will have the opportunity to take it off of them, because the Galaxy now have just 2 days before they play their next match. El Primo, Comment 96, with a super chat. It says, future of G's content is in good hands with the next gen of creators. You damn Skippy, Primo, for damn sure. I love seeing this vibrant G's community keep growing and keep adding new voices. And man, I can't wait to see where we are in a couple years time with all the content. I mean, there should definitely be like just a main hub where people can go and catch all their Galaxy content. Greg Gager says, Paint's so low-key overrated, always hurt and crying. So far this year, you know what? He has not produced what we have expected for what we are expecting from him. But I saw in the chat earlier that between Peck and Paint, so they have 1 goal between them all year. Ouch. That's not going to make it happen, y'all. So let's hope that they break out of that funk starting Wednesday. After 15 matches, the Galaxy holds a 0-11-4 record. They are on 4 points, 0.27 points per game, negative 22 goal difference, 15th in last place. Still the only team yet to win a game in the league. Dead last in the league. Win the streak is at 15, y'all, while the single season record is at 16. So one more and they match another record. That overall record is at 18, and I believe that carries over from one season to the next. So, yeah, I mean, there's still a couple of losses away, but who knows? They do have San Jose RSL next. Anything is possible for this team. This Galaxy team has 4 points out of a possible 45, gents. So maybe Peyton and Tab are not wrong in saying it is a wash. It is over. Blow it up. It's done. San Jose, however, after 15 matches, they have a 5-6-4 record. 32 goals for, 26 goals against. They're on 19 points, good enough for 8th place, 1.27 points per game. They are unbeaten in their last 7 matches in all competitions. They've scored 9 goals in the last 5 matches. However, they have tied the last 3 matches that they've played. Their last game was a 3-3 tie at home versus Houston. They were down 2-0, and they came back from 2-0 off a former G's back. Preston Judd got a brace in this one, and then San Jose goes up 3-2, but in the dying moments, they give up the tying goal to Griffin Dorsey and Houston in injury time to drop 2 points. Gents, it's another Cali Clasico. Now, understand that when I was around your age, there was only San Jose, so that was usually where all my ire was drawn. But now there are 3 California teams facing off against the Galaxy. Rank their Cali rivals in order of animosity for yourself. Who do you care for least? Peyton?
San Diego. I think the off-the-field stuff has maybe intensified it a bit, but San Diego are plastic. They're nothing to me. I don't really care for them. I don't see them as, they're a California rival geographically, but on the field, there was a little scrap in the match, but it needs more history to it. I'm going to give it time, but definitely the least important rivalry to me. But maybe this will pass Cali Clasico in the upcoming years for a little more importance. But I don't really care for San Diego.
Tab, what about you? And in order of the Galaxy's California rivals that you like the least?
I despise LAFC fans, and then I think next goes probably San Diego, just after these past 2 games and what they've caused us, the trauma, and just what's happened in the games. And then
Trauma's a good word.
San Jose, and San Diego or San Jose last.
Well, it is another Cali Clasico, and man, these games are always fun for me, although they've lost a lot of the passion that they used to carry. The Galaxy is playing their second match in the span of 4 days, and the 103rd edition of the California Clasico on Wednesday, May 28th at the Digs. This match does kick off at 7:10, y'all. The Galaxy have a 40, 28, and 17 record in league play against San Jose, and 40 all-time regular season matches. At home, they have a 24, 10, and 6 record. They are unbeaten in their last 8 matches across all competitions against San Jose, and they're unbeaten in 4 matches played across all competitions against the Earthquakes last year. The last time they met, the Galaxy won 2-1 in the Leagues Cup, but the last time they met in the league, the Galaxy beat San Jose 4-3 before almost 25.5 fans. 25.5 fans on April 21st, 2024. The Galaxy, of course, still carrying that only long-term injury, which is Ricky Puig. San Jose, they have one of their main guys out, Christian Arango. The striker has 9 goals and 1 assist in 13 matches. Their goalkeeper, Daniel, injured as well. 13 matches, 16 goals conceded, 2 clean sheets. Nico Sekiris, 6 matches, 1 assist, and Noel Buck, defensive midfielder, 4 matches. Ananda, what are you looking at for this Galaxy lineup? And then Peyton, Tab, do you expect Greg to go with a repeat lineup here, with maybe the exception of Micovic?
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it to the boys. I mean, I think the big calls are gonna be, Micovic, like we mentioned, who's gonna start at the false nine. I know you guys have a liking to Royce, but second game in 4 days, just like Rob said in the preview or in the rundown there. So what do you guys think? Any changes from the starting 11 from Saturday?
Well, I think the team didn't perform. I think this is the strongest lineup we got. So I think it's going to be pretty similar. Obviously, I think McCarthy slots in for Micovic. But I think we run it again, same lineup. And it's unfortunate because I think someone like Garces making that mistake, he should be getting benched for that. But we just don't have the depth for someone to take a spot, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm completely with Tab. I don't think anybody is able to test the depth of this team. It is really unfortunate because Emiro Garces, a lot of people, are very unhappy, including myself, with his performances. But what are you going to do? Put Zonka in? Like, it's just not an option for the Galaxy right now. I think John McCarthy is in net for Novak. Would that be what I necessarily would do? Not really. I think there's nothing to lose with Novak. And the only benefit you get out of playing John McCarthy is just more experience. But in a season that is going the way it is, it doesn't really matter anymore. I'd rather see the young guy prove that he's that guy or not. But I think John McCarthy gets the start. I want to see Ade at left back, but it won't happen. I think Ade also needs a chance. You're spending a U22 spot on him. It's a waste of a U22 spot not to have him involved with the team. John Nelson, I like John Nelson. He's a solid MLS guy. He's exactly what we needed last year to get over the hump and to get us to MLS Cup. But Julian Ade has a lot more potential. John Nelson's kind of reached the cap of what he's going to be in his career, in my opinion, which is good. It's a solid MLS starter. But right now, with the Galaxy's current situation, I want to see guys who have potential. I want to see Greg Vanny mix up the lineup. I mean, there's really nothing to lose, but I think it'll be a repeat outside of John McCarthy for Novak.
Well, and then to build off of that too, Rob, I mean, like, what does it have to take to put Nasi in the game? I mean, again, you talk about U22s, right? We're spending U22 spot on this guy. I thought his cameo a couple games ago, he did pretty well in those 10, 12 minutes, however it was. Thought his hold-up play was really good. His touches were clean, technically good in those minutes. And then just to back you up even on the other side there, Peyton, I would love to see, you've talked about Yamane's had a couple of shaky runs as of late. Mocuevas, man, he's looked good in his cameos again. He's got a really, really good delivery on the right side. And we talk about these guys playing for contracts. Who are we going to sort of mortgage our future on? I think those are fair shouts. Those are absolutely fair shouts, in my opinion.
Well, maybe Ant and chat is volunteering me to play striker. I've
for
said
lifetime supply pupusas.
Yeah, I've said a couple times I'll do it for those pupusas for sure.
Yeah.
I'll get a couple goals. I'm not gonna say I won't. Maybe for like I'll only last out there for like maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I can't go the full 90, but put me in front of goal. Give me a shot, and let's see what happens. Just keep those pupusas coming. I will now bring up these San Jose players to watch because I'm definitely not the Galaxy player to watch. Cristian Espinoza, of course, is the focal point of this attack here. As he goes, they go. The number 10, the central attacking midfielder, is ranked 3rd in the league in big chances created with 10. He has 4 goals and 8 assists. Of course, Josef Martinez with 6 goals and 1 assist. That man is dangerous as well. The youngster Bo Leroux, 2 goals and 3 assists as well from midfield. And then DeJuan Jones from the wing there with 1 goal and 3 assists. Guys, we're going to start winding it down here. But chat, do you know what it is? Go ahead and start dropping your predictions. Let us know what you think is going to happen on Wednesday. But for Tab and for Peyton, Tab, let's start with you. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to.
DPs have to perform. They have to step up, especially in Cali Clasico. This is where the stars are written. This is where players become the stars. And I think this is a game where Gabriel Peck should do good. I mean, they got a 3-back. He's going to have space out wide, playing behind the wing backs. So hopefully that happens. And with the speed of Peyton on the other side, hopefully cause some problems for that San Jose back line.
DP's got to perform. Tab is preaching. Peyton, what do you think? For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to
avoid individual mistakes. I think you've seen the Galaxy almost play a full 90 minutes worth of a game. Not quite yet. I mean, maybe the LAFC game was the closest we got to that this year. If the Galaxy can play a full 90-minute game throughout this entire match, I think we can beat San Jose. Avoid individual mistakes. And like we said, it's easier said than done with the mental hurdle they have to climb right now. But if we're able to, avoid shooting ourselves in the foot, I don't think this is a terrible team. The San Jose backline is very questionable to me. So like Tab said, if the DPs can attack it, I think we can score goals on this team. They're not convincing me. This is pretty much the same backline as last year for San Jose. That was one of the worst in Major League Soccer. I'm not very convinced by it. And I think the DPs get running, but just avoid individual mistakes, please.
With their backup keeper as well. So yeah, they're there to be got at for sure.
Well, we
what do you think, Baba?
Avoiding individual mistakes from Peyton. We have to have the DPs performing from Tab. For me, honestly, I just think they need to go out there with swagger and just forget everything that's happened this year. Like you guys have already said just a couple moments ago, it is a Cali Clasico. You got to go out there and perform, and it's your rival, and fortunately in El Tráfico and the Cali Clasico, form doesn't really matter. These games are always kind of anomalies. So go out there, and because it's an anomaly and because form doesn't matter, just leave it all out there, man. Just play free. You've already lost 15. You're already winless in 15. I mean, why let that pressure get to you, man? You've already lost 15. Just go out there and play. Just play.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, and this goes back to one of your guys' points earlier. I think I might sound preachy right now, but I think if they want any chance in this game, they need to not only believe in each other, but they need to believe in themselves. I think you talked about either Peyton or Tab, but just about how mentally fragile this team is, how sort of mentally traumatized is the word Tab used earlier. This idea around trauma. I mean, these players are shot in confidence, man, completely. Now, I don't know where you're going to manufacture that confidence, but I think it's probably just keeping their heads down, working hard, sticking to the game plan, keeping things simple. But more than anything, the belief that this team showed us last year, they're not showing any of that this year. But I think to have any shot against any opponent, no matter who it is, especially at home, I think they just need to believe in themselves, because you see sort of the fragile mental state that all these players are at right now, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, just one thing and it could all come crashing down. And if any more comments, says need not to concede first. That's crucial. If the Galaxy give up that first goal, I don't know if they can lift themselves up and get back into it. Well, Ananda, all that's left is predictions. But before we get there, you got to let us know what Vegas is saying. I know you and Dr. Aquino have prepared some betting odds.
Yes, sir. So betting odds right now, Galaxy plus 100. They are the home team, right at 50%. Quakes plus 230. That's a 30% chance. Again, it's the road team. That's pretty darn high. I think we know exactly why. We don't need to belabor the point even further. Draw, by the way, plus 310. That's definitely not out of the realm possibility. I'm not going to go to my prediction too early, but I can definitely see that happening, Rob.
Yeah, no, those are pretty good odds for the away team right there. And
yeah,
like you said, it's best not to belabor that point. Now it's the time for receipts. Gents, who wants to go first? Peyton or Tab? Which one of you wants to throw it all out on the line right now?
I'll go first. I'm going to say 3-2 Galaxy.
Ooh.
First win of the season. Wow.
Ooh, first win of the season against
like in the Verve.
The northern rivals in the Cali Clasico, 3-2. Hey, I like it. Peyton, what are you thinking? What are you feeling for this one?
So in Talking Galaxy, we have something called a Peyton curse, which is pretty much any result I say is going to end up going the other way. So that being said, I think the Galaxy do lose this match 2-1. I think this is a 2-1 loss for the LA Galaxy. I don't think we win this match. Every time I predicted us to beat San Diego, and that did not end up happening. Every time I think we're gonna get our first win, finally get over the line, it doesn't end up happening. So I'm gonna stick the other way now and say that the Galaxy don't win this match. I think it'll be a close one. I think we'll get the first goal, but I think it's going to be like the past few games where it doesn't matter, and San Jose are going to climb back into it. The Galaxy are going to start questioning themselves, and it's a loss.
Anandita, te toca.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to throw it, too early in my prediction, but I do see that plus 300 or whatever it was. I do see a draw in this one. I think actually not even for some reason. I know exactly the reason why, but we are going to be in a winning position and we're going to throw away 2 points. I think it's written in the stars, Rob. That's just been, who said it earlier? Everything that can go wrong will go wrong this season. I think that's kind of where it is right now. And I think, again, we're going to be in a winning position and we're going to blow it away. By the way, just a little tactical thing that I'm curious to seeing if he does start Julian Aude, what a battle that will be on the left-hand side, our left-hand side. Christian Espinoza against Julian Aude. I think he can do it, man. He's got the stamina. He's really good at cutting out crosses. That's one thing I've noticed that he is good at. He does get out on those crosses. He is a little bit more aggressive. He will bomb up and down that left wing. But that will be the key matchup, I think, that will sort of tactically now, all that other stuff aside, sort of tell the tale. But no, man, I'm going to go for the draw. We're still going to be winless in 16.
Well, Peyton, there's not a Rob curse, but I would like to tell you that I've called, them winning and then they lost, or called them losing and then they've won. It doesn't matter what I've called. I've called everything under the sun at this point, and they've still lost. I don't think that's going to change. I think at best, Galaxy is coming up with that 2-2 draw. And somebody said in chat, at the moment, a draw seems like a win. I think at home, a draw is really more like a loss. But yeah, that's what I think is going to come. What's going to happen? 2-2 draw in this one, and Galaxy still winless in 16.
Yikes!
And it's another bad day at the office. And you know what? It'll be just me writing another headline. Galaxy still winless in 16, but you know what? We'll still be there.
No, man, I'm rooting for the Peyton curse right now. I'm gonna tweet that out to you when it happens, man. Peyton curse, let's go. That's a what we call it in the show, right? That's like the reverse curse.
Right in the chat though. Every time we have a live watch along, I forget which game it was. I was like, I don't know. I just really feel a penalty in this match. And literally like a couple minutes later, they called a penalty against the Galaxy. And I was like, great. That's great. I'm not trying to manifest it, but there we go.
Yeah, well, Ananda did pretty much the same thing in New York. He looks at me and he goes, watch this Golasso. Watch this Forsberg Golasso from the free kick. And
What'd I say? Top right-hand corner? Aired it in. Yeah, the perfect view of that. Yep.
It was so both of you guys, hopefully during the match, you guys are like, oh, watch this Galaxy Golasso, and then it happens and you guys manifest. Because that's what the Galaxy need. Gents, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us today. Chat, thank you so much for being with us. We know it was a long one. We did have to get through a preview and a reaction to that San Diego shenanigans and loss. But we do want to say thanks to Peyton, thanks to Tab for being here. Guys, one more time, go ahead and shout out the handles. Shout out Talking Galaxy, and then we'll take us on home.
And yeah, any other live streams or shows you got coming up? Like this is your time, guys, for the Cuneros.
Get it.
Yeah, I'm GalaxyRunsLA over on Instagram and TikTok. Talking Galaxy on YouTube, and we got a show coming up tomorrow at 8 p.m. So try to tune in if you can.
Get it, guys.
Vamos.
Yeah. I am at LA_Galaxy_ on Instagram, or John Pork LA Galaxy on TikTok. We have shows every Tuesday at 8 p.m. So make sure you're tuned in for that tomorrow. Talking Galaxy on YouTube. Thank you all in the chat, and thank you guys for having me on. I do appreciate it. We're gonna have to get you guys on the show sometime then.
Guys,
you know where to find us.
It'll be lovely. Thank you so much. And chat, show these guys a lot of love. Go ahead and hit up Talking Galaxy. Go ahead and hit up those subs, hit up those likes, and make sure to show them some love tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And that pretty much wraps us up. Ananda, any last words before you get on out of here?
No, man. Well, just wanted to say thank you to these guys. It's just a big sigh, like huge sigh. But yeah, no, just super thank you guys. I thought a really good conversation. Can't wait to have you guys on again, and you guys know where to find us. Again, I think Rob, I did say sad in the very top of the show, but again, this is the power of the G's community. I mean, this is what got me through 2023, covering that season with you, man. Just meeting everyone, growing this G's community. I think that is the most beautiful, special part of this journey. I'm sure you guys, when you guys sort of, roll on the episodes, that's going to be the best part too, is just meeting everyone in the community. And that's my hope this year, man, is just the G's community. Love you guys. And we'll see y'all on Thursday after the G's get there. No, not the first one.
But yes, Ananda's right. We will see you on Thursday, May 29th. We'll bring you our Galaxy versus RSL preview pod, and we'll also bring you our San Jose reaction to what is hopefully the Galaxy's first win of the season. A week from today, on Monday, June 2nd, we'll bring you our Galaxy versus RSL reaction pod. And of course, like I mentioned, that'll be the midpoint of the season, just a couple shows before show 200. Look out for us to have special guests and interviews coming up in the 2 weeks while the G's are off. And look out for episode number 200. We will have a very special guest, and hopefully you guys enjoy and party with us on that day. Only one thing left to say, Ananda. Boys, Talking Galaxy, Lacuna crossover show. We done did it, y'all. Thank you guys for listening. Chat, we love you. We'll see you on Thursday. LA Strong, Vamos Campeones, and G's up.
Wow.